Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. In this section, we will be learning more about functions and about unstructured programming and structured programming, their differences, and the advantages of using structured programming over unstructured programming. And also, we will be looking at some examples of how to write programs using unstructured and structured programming. Before starting the video, I would like to request you people to please like our videos and share it with your friends and family, and also subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade so that you receive notifications about our latest updates, and also you do not miss out on our future uploads. Thank you. So let's get started. So as I told in my earlier section, C programs can be written in two ways. The two ways are unstructured programming, or you can say which do not use user defined functions, or the second one is structured programming, which can be said they use user defined functions. All the programs that we have been writing till now, we have been using the unstructured mode of programming, where the entire logic of the program is written within one function, which is called the main function, as I told you earlier. So from now on, we will be using the structured mode of programming because it has various advantages over the unstructured mode of programming. So as I told in the earlier section, here are the examples for unstructured programming and structured programming. Let us look at those once again. So as you can see on the screen, this is the example for unstructured programming where we had a program for subtraction of two numbers, and you can see here inside the main function only we wrote the entire logic. So we had two variables a and b of the integer data type, then we calculated the difference and then printed the result. Then finally when we execute this, we get the output as the difference is 10. Now this was the unstructured programming mode. Let us see the example of the structured programming mode. In the structured programming mode, the example was like this. As you can see on the screen here, first we have to declare the user defined function. Then we have to define the user defined function, and finally in the main function we are giving the function call as is displayed in the example. In this case also, when we run this, we get the output, which is the difference is 10. Now as you have seen the two examples, let us move on to the next section, which is the disadvantages of unstructured programming. So let us discuss all the disadvantages of unstructured programming one by one. The first disadvantage is, in unstructured programming, the program is very difficult to read and understand. The second disadvantage is, it is very difficult to debug and identify errors in case of unstructured programming. The next one is, programmers find it very difficult to test the program. The fourth one is, in case of unstructured programming, it is very difficult to modify the program. And the final disadvantage of using unstructured programming is that it is very difficult to reuse the logic in case of the unstructured programming. So as you can see here, we have so many disadvantages of using the unstructured mode of programming. That's why we should always try to use the structured mode of programming. Now let us move on to the next section where we will be looking at the advantages of using the structured programming or the user defined functions. The first advantage is, when we use the user defined functions, programming becomes very easy. The second one is, with the help of user defined functions, the large and complex tasks can be broken down into smaller simple tasks using several functions. The third one is, the debugging process becomes very easy and it is very easy to find and remove errors. The fourth advantage of using user defined functions is that the readability of the program is increased to a greater extent. Then the most important advantage of using structured programming or user defined functions is that it increases the reusability. It means that once the function body or definition has been written, the function can be called from many different places in a program and it can be used multiple number of times. So this is the best advantage of using user-defined functions or structured programming. In this case, it increases the reusability. We can reuse the logic of the code again and again. Now that you know the advantages of using user-defined functions and also the disadvantages of using unstructured programming, let us move on to our editor so that I can show you two examples where we will use unstructured programming as well as structured programming with the help of user-defined functions. So let's quickly move on to our editor. So here you can see I am inside my editor, and let's start with an example of unstructured programming. So I will start with my header file. Then here, as I am using the unstructured mode of programming, what I will do is I will use my main function void main, and inside my main function I will write the entire logic of the program. So let me take the variables. Int a is equal to 20, comma b is equal to 10, and the third variable to be difference, so that I can store the result of the subtraction in this variable. Now let me define the difference variable is equal to a minus b. Now this is a simple example, so I will just be printing the result or the difference. The difference is %d, so that I can read the variable, and here I will call my difference variable with the semicolon. So this is as simple as that. This thing is done. So I will be running this so that I can show you the output. So here I am running it, and you can see, let me zoom it, the difference is 10. So this is the basic example of unstructured mode of programming. Now let us write the same program using structured mode of programming. So let me delete this lines of code, and again I will start in this case with the user defined function. So I will take the return type, which is the int, and then I will write the name of the user defined function followed by brackets, and inside this I have to give the parameters, say int a comma int b, and inside the curly brackets or inside this function I have to define the logic. So let me take the variable to be diff, and then here I will calculate diff equal to a minus b, and finally I will return the diff value. So this is the logic of this program, and here you can see, let me just comment this out so that you can understand. This is the function declaration, and here this can be called the function definition, and after that here I will have my main function. So void main, and inside curly braces inside the main function I will be taking my variables. Int a is equal to 20, then b is equal to 10 so that I get a positive result. And then finally I will be taking the difference variable. And here I will use my difference variable, and from here I will call my user defined function so that I can get the result. So to call this, I have to use the name of my user defined function, which is difference, and inside the parenthesis I have to give the variables. So it will be a comma b. Now I will simply print the result. So print the difference is %d and my diff variable, semicolon. So it's done, and here this line is actually the function call. So let me just write it down here so that you can understand better. So this is the function call. Now let me run this so that I can show you the same output. I am running it. So here you can see we are getting the exact output but with a different mode of programming. This is structured programming with the help of user defined functions. The answer is, the difference is 10. So I hope you guys have understood both the methods of writing unstructured as well as structured programming by using user defined functions or by not using user defined functions. So this is all about this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, you can ask them in the comment section. I will be glad to clarify all your doubts. In the next section, we will be learning about elements of function and how to define functions, the syntax of functions and all these things. This was just an example to show you the different approach of structured and unstructured programming. Thank you for watching. See you guys in our next video.